everybody, thank you for tuning in. It's Ian here along with Chris.
Hello.
We are here to run down Us.
We are here to run down Us.
In more ways than one.
Ah.
In more ways than one. By that, of course, I mean the film that we've had debut, Jordan Peele's latest outing. If you are recently off the trail from Get Out, or if you just saw it a long time ago, or whatever else, maybe you were interested in checking out what's his brand of horror he's serving up this time. Just to preface, this is going to be spoiler ridden, so if you don't want that in your review, if you don't want to hear all our full thoughts right here in this, you've been warned. All right.
Yeah, we will have a non-spoiler review that accompanies this. If you just kind of want to know what the film was like, check that out. But yeah, this is a review and discussion, so we're digging into the movie.
All right. So I got to say, coming into the film, my impressions and things that I expected, I left myself open for this one. I can't say that I had a preconceived idea at all, like this is what I want to see. If anything, it was like a grab bag that I was excited to get. By the way, This is a first. I cannot remember a time I've ever been excited to see a horror movie. Like,
yeah, that's true. You're a big scaredy pants, so I still can't get you to watch the thing.
Yeah, it's also scary. Yeah, dude, I just don't know, man. I get so uncertain, and I get my anxiety and my nerves. Yeah, they just go out of control.
But Get Out was awesome, so you were hyped.
Oh yeah, no, dude, completely hyped. Maybe
I was hyped as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, maybe here's my thing. Maybe if more stuff did what Get Out did, and didn't just blindly hack and slash, I'd be interested.
Oh, no, but there's definitely hacking and slashing in this. There's a lot of slashing in this.
Oh, plenty. With scissors.
Yeah. I came in the same way. The trailers for this hooked me. I remember when the first teaser one came out, I texted you immediately with the trailer. I'm like, look at this. It's Jordan Peele. Didn't Get Out. He's doing this.
Yeah.
I love the premise that the trailers brought us. I enjoy the fact that the movie tries to play on those enough.
Right.
Overall, though, this movie did not deliver for me. Very disappointed with the actual premise behind what's going on here. Now, I will say this, and I think you agreed. I don't know, maybe you understood and at least said that this movie needs more.
Right.
My rating on this movie will be based on the option to change, and we've only ever done this one other time, and that was with Infinity War.
Yep.
And that's because we knew there was a second part. We don't know there's a second part to Us.
Right.
But there's so much unexplained and so much undone.
Yeah.
If they actually do make a sequel, I reserve the right to change my review, because my review on this movie is heavily based on the fact that this is an unfinished story.
It is.
It's a very unfinished story. And because of that, I will be rating it as such.
Fair enough.
So, but I reserve the right to change it.
Hey, it's only fair, man.
But yeah, this was kind of poopy.
There was a lot surprisingly lacking here. And I part of my disappointment with that comes in, I think, how well we're pulled into all of this first. There's some good heebie-jeebies up front with the idea of abandoned, unused underground railways and everything else, about how this kind of stuff exists all over the U.S. That kind of sends your mind out into the ether right up front. You've got a few little period piece elements thrown in. We talk about the, of course, days of the late 80s. I loved it. 1986. I was like, my year. Yeah.
Good year
up front. And then, going forward through time from there and into modern, present era. So I think all those things do a good job in inviting us in, sort of building into this. And then we get the first look at, one of the duplicates, the clones. And we said, oh my God, what's this all about? I think some of the main things this suffers from, though, why the story here gets so incomplete, is the larger themes aren't expounded on. And
no, in fact, they almost feel like they were forgotten.
Yeah.
And I don't think this was really the case. And I would be really curious to find out as time goes on. Maybe we'll get interviews that will explain this a little bit. But it almost felt like a bait and switch. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The trailers and everything kind of showed this as a movie, and this isn't completely forgotten. And in fact, there's some premise for it here, but you kind of got the idea that this was a movie that was going to kind of touch on, obviously it's about a second person, almost a evil alternate universe person that this family has to go up against. That's really not what's going on here. I mean, that happens,
right?
But in fact, they say that they're shadows of the other person. I mean, there's no magic here. There's no twisted evil here. They're government experiments.
Right.
That's the premise.
Yeah, the vibe. Now it sounds like you got a similar vibe that I did. This from the trailers and everything like that.
Well, everybody did.
Everybody
did.
Dude, Supernatural was
right.
just the feeling for this. Period. And I think perhaps you could chalk that up and say, oh well, that's just setting your own bar, like expectation or whatever else. But I mean, look at an event like this, and for what you have with the horror film, like the basic idea is great.
And I think that's still there to an extent too.
It is.
I mean, quite honestly, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you there.
No.
But quite honestly, there's really no other explanation than this. I mean, they tell you, the government was making copies, and somehow they made a duplicate, and the duplicate has to do everything the other person's doing, and actually enacts physically what's going on in their tunnel bunny world.
Right.
But they share a soul.
Right.
And I could look. And I don't, as a basis, I don't even mind that so much. I think it's a much weaker premise than what we were kind of shown it to be.
Right.
Especially with the name, like, I mean, everything about this really screamed that they were going to really delve into questions and theories about, the darker side of people, and especially with a family unit, and how, each person in that family is going to have to, interact with that. But then it's like, oh, nope, government tunnels and bunny rabbits.
World building. I think that's
and by the way, this is not just focused on the movie is focused on the family. This is at least a countrywide event.
Right.
So everybody's going through this, literally.
Yeah. Like I was saying, the world building, I think, is a key here. One key thing to, I think, making any really, really solid, I think, film experience or whatever else is you built the structure, you built the walls and established it, but then you also laid down some of the rules within this world we're given. And there's a lot of things, too, that seem to either function differently depending on who it is or whatever else. Like you said, the whole thing with the clones and the tether, the idea of the shadow, all those things aren't quite explained, on top of the fact that it seems some can manipulate their own shadow, well, I'll just say shadow, their clone, more so than others. Look at the sun.
Right. I thought that was awesome that they did that.
Yeah.
It's a little hokey. It's a little kind of a trope that I can control my evil person if I constantly... And, we've seen that a million times before. I can control my doppelganger. But it worked well, and then they just dropped it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got this huge fight, and I kind of understand, because that's one of those parts of the movie where they're showing a reflection of, okay, well, the mother, she's really angry,
right,
and she's letting rage control her, and so she's losing this fight, while the other person is using what she learned from being her shadow and being elegant and graceful,
right,
in this battle, and then boom, poker through the body.
Yeah.
And then what we had just seen with the son and his doppelganger doesn't... Where'd that go?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What happened? I guess I understand if Jordan Peele, who, by the way, this has to be said, he has to own this movie. I mean, he wrote it, he produced it, he directed it. This is his film,
right,
through and through. If his goal was to kind of tease these things and, well, we'll build up to that and then we'll bait and switch, you got to be careful when you do that. That's not the easiest to pull off. Right. Just because you did a bait and switch doesn't mean it's like, oh, he got me.
Right.
it can turn out as, well, okay, that was kind of dumb. And often in this movie, that's what happened.
Speaking of bait and switch, and let me highlight this real quick because we're spoiling the whole bag here, of course. The twist, How much did you see it coming?
The with the mirror and the girl.
Yeah,
And immediately.
yeah. No,
That was not. It feels like this movie was created in a vacuum.
Right.
Because that was so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how anyone could think, oh, they'll never see. What? Are you serious? The whole time I'm thinking it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I think if we weren't shown, I think some of the rest of the past flashbacks or sort of how her early life went after that event, maybe that would have shrouded it some more. But, dude, I'm with you immediately. Especially when her parents are in the counseling room and they're sitting. You could just see her whole demeanor is different. She almost comes off as a different person. I mean, down to her mannerisms and everything else. And at first I was like, well, you could talk about cases of shock and stuff, and I'm like, I don't think that's what this is. That this looks like a genuine switch. And sure enough.
Right, and it's just I mean, I think. I really want to say that, especially after watching Get Out, which I just watched 2 days ago for the first time,
we go.
Getting ready for this, because that was his first movie. Obviously, they're not related as far as any greater storyline, but it's his first movie, and everybody loved it. So, which I did too. It was great.
Cool.
But I saw a lot of intelligent things in that movie, which is why I don't want to say how that they. I don't want to say that they couldn't see coming that everybody would know that the girl switched.
Sure.
Because that's so freaking obvious. But then there's enough build-up throughout the movie where it's like, do they really think we didn't catch that?
Right.
Because then they're like, well, everyone else is grunting, so how could it be? And it's, and I'm still holding out. Hence the reservation to change the rating if they come out with a sequel, because there's still a lot here that could really save this film with a sequel, which I hate to say. I hate to even say that, but
yeah,
I guess I just don't understand. It really feels like this was created without really understanding the audience, especially a horror movie. You can say what you want about slashers and B horror movies and all that. Your general B movie audience is pretty savvy when it comes to other horror movies.
Sure.
I mean, they're gonna catch on to that pretty quick.
Easily. Looking at that though, it's funny that you mentioned about this. I think how much of it comes down to as far as direction and choices and design decisions and stuff. Because look, the crew they got behind this, and let it be said, there's no shortage of talent here.
No, none.
Look, Miss Lapita does an absolutely fantastic delivery here. I always kind of, sorry, I always give up her name a bit. I'm sorry, Lapita Nyong'o.
The mother, yeah, she was great. Fantastic.
Her range is on full display here. So if some of you guys out there have seen Black Panther, you kind of loved how her interactions with King T'Challa and stuff. This is your chance to really see her, I think, get out of the box here and really carry a film. I'd argue out of any character here, in more ways than one, I think she really carried this.
She was a great choice as a lead. She did a really good job.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see things through both perspectives. Both of her, both her shadow and her, quote unquote normal side, or rather a reformed shadow, if you want to say. The concept, the idea, I think she embraces that really well too. It's sort of higher level thing when you talk about, you go into philosophy and this idea of embracing one shadow and stuff like that, and you see her making these efforts to kind of bridge those two sides more than once. She fails to every single time, but I just thought her delivery was so powerful here. I could feel that her doing, and that's a sign of just just grade A acting.
I think all the actors for our Focus family were great. I mean, acting across the board was pretty good. The family as a whole, I want to throw it out. I'll see if I don't butcher this name. The father.
You just mean, does he just go by Winston Duke? I think for his film credits.
Okay, so yeah, no, I think you're right. I think that is just
Just
Winston
Winston
Duke.
Duke.
I don't know who that guy is.
Winston Duke. Just for those of you out there wondering, the M'Baku again from Black Panther.
Oh
Someone
yeah, that wasn't it?
sure was.
Anyways, well, he did good too.
Yeah, he did. He killed
He
it.
did good.
um,
But no, you're right. Winston Duke. Yeah, he did a great job. Um, yeah. Oh boy.
about the insertions of just small little bits of humor and stuff like that. I thought it worked. Sometimes when you have
Oh sure.
when you have kind of little off kilter moments and stuff, that can totally like pull you out of a moment, or you beat the dead horse, or it's just out of place and it feels stupid, or no, it worked here. I think even in more tense situations, like the missed flare shot in the boat, he lucked out so many times.
Mhm.
Just all kinds of little stuff, but it worked here. I think none of the little moments ever really pulled me out of the film itself, so that was all fine.
I guess I would say the only thing as far as that aspect goes was I thought it was a little weird that after they'd killed like the seventh or so doppelganger that they weren't kind of freaking out that they were killing people.
Oh, they were just kind of
Yeah, they're just
chill.
kind of going with it.
Yeah.
In fact, they're doing a body count.
Yeah,
I've killed so many. I've killed so many. Which was funny, but I think it's like,
yeah.
you're kind of separating me from this film a little bit by being so nonchalant about it.
I agree. I almost had some like zombie apocalypse vibes of this. It started. It's funny that conversation starts on the inside when the wife just snaps and says, you're not the one making decisions anymore. And then all of a sudden the decisions are being made. They make this system of drawing lotteries for like body counts and stuff. It's just it's a ridiculous moment. I mean,
Well, that even said, I'll even go a little bit further. Jordan Peele did a good job with the script for this. I mean, I'm definitely having issues with the overall plot and
Sure.
and how it unfolds throughout the movie, but even the scripting, especially the dialogue between the family, I thought was really well done as
It was.
well. Um, okay, let me get to one of my biggest issues here, though, and there are
Sure.
actually a couple of them. Kind of expounding a little bit more on what I was talking about before. Um, okay, so where did they get millions and millions of jumpsuits and scissors?
Right. Right.
I mean, if this is an abandoned facility that's in underground tunnels, where are they coming up with this
Who's
stuff?
funding this?
Right. I mean, and I think overall that's my issue. If this isn't done by dark magic or mysticism of some way, or eh, I mean, how are they eating?
Right. Right.
I feel you can't explain this away with government experiment. It just doesn't make any sense.
No.
And they set down the premise of, well, what happens with the main person, the other person has to go through as well. And I actually like the fact that they showed that the doppelgangers of the family aren't really attached to each other. They have a relationship to the fact that they're forced to be in each other's lives.
Right.
But
Right.
they don't, beyond that, they don't have, and they'll work together, but there's not a bond. And I appreciate that.
Right.
There's not a bond between them. And that makes sense if they've been forced to, I would almost find it to be a very pretentious relationship.
Sure.
But it's just, I mean, okay, so this is, it doesn't make any sense. And not to mention, how do the doppelgangers, how do they ever eat?
Right.
How did they sustain before? I don't know, man. That's just weird. And yeah, where did they come up with like millions and millions of jumpsuits? And if this is at least nationwide, we don't know if it's worldwide.
Exactly.
And I thought I thought it was disappointing that they use the TV and seeing something on TV as a premise to inform us, which I think is fine.
Right.
But then they don't use it enough. We
Yeah.
see it in the beginning, and then we see it. Okay, so then they show us a clip on the news of, okay, this is happening not just in their immediate area. This is happening elsewhere.
Yep.
But is it 10 miles away? Is it on the other side of the country?
Right.
And it's not until the very end of the movie that you know for sure, okay, this is a freaking apocalypse that's going on here. This is ruining at least the country.
Right. I think I know what was really disorienting for me by the time we hit morning. I was literally like grasping for straws. Like, all right, how widespread is this? Is
Right.
this contained? Is this, and the loose threads I think start to unravel at that point. You've got the element of the hands, the holding hands are tied together across, the whole nation, the whole thing, the human
Right.
chain. That's still left open. Here's one of the most egregious switches here. Okay, and say what you will about, well, it could be government instead of mysticism. Look, here's what's set. This is off the bat in a spiritual basis, the Jeremiah 11:11 reference. And for those of you guys have probably already looked at what that is, but I do.
I did.
I need to
What's
go
it
over.
mean?
I'm gonna go over the verse. I'm gonna go over the verse. I think that's
Okay.
important with the context. I remember seeing that, and I immediately just made a quick note in my, my message tab to,
I had 20
pull that
minutes
up.
between when I saw the film to now, so
Fair enough.
so I didn't have a chance to look that up.
All right, Jeremiah 11:11 said, "Therefore thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring evil upon them which they shall not be able to escape, and though they shall cry unto me, I will not hearken unto them." The idea is about this inescapable dread, this inescapable fate that is going to be brought upon people, and you can't. It's one thing I think to read that in isolation, but you got to look at the broader context of it too. That's talking a lot about the rest of the Israelites and the events that were happening at that time biblically. So the fact that you have such a strong biblical reference and biblical base, I mean, literally right up front, with the fella at the fair, he holds up the Jeremiah 11:11 sign. You see it again when we jump to present day. He's died now. He's the first victim. We don't quite know exactly what the causes are yet, but we see him with that again. So we're saying, all right, this is setting up some sort of running theme. For me, that was the biggest thing I need to see as far as to draw conclusions. I'm hoping this is going to go towards supernatural spirit level,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
Well, and see, that's just weird because that has to be involved somehow.
Right.
So let's say the doppelgangers don't have to eat. Why do they have to sleep? There's bunk
Sure.
beds everywhere
Sure.
and lockers,
Yeah.
but there's no one else. Where are they pooping? I mean, I don't mean to get gross, but
No, hey, dude.
there's no bathrooms. But they, and why are they even wearing clothes?
Right.
For that matter.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird.
Legitimate questions. Legitimate questions that we at the end of this that we really don't have the answer for. I, it's funny. I honestly thought the rabbit shot up front was more of just something to just illustrate or just sort of rough metaphor.
It could have gone a couple ways with
Yeah.
it.
Could have. With the way that was going, but I definitely didn't see this just sticking with the whole government grounds and everything like that. I think that just personally, at least, I think that undercuts it a bit. So
Yeah. So, but I like a lot of what I saw here, though, and like I said, if there is going to be a sequel and they actually explain this stuff,
yeah,
I will change my review number for this, my overall feeling on it. If they can sew this up all nice.
sure.
I don't know, man. I'm ready.
Yeah, man, I'm rounding that bin too. What do you want to say out of clones?
What? 1 out of 10 unexplainable mystical government doppelgangers.
Unexplainable mystical government doppelgangers. Got it. All right.
I give it a 6.
Gotcha. I am sitting at 4 out of 10.
Whoa, brutal.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought I was going to be at the lower end of the stick. But
No, it's
yeah,
me.
man, you just smashed him with a 4.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta frame this again. This isn't just because I expected another Get Out or I wanted this film to be a certain thing. I was rooting for it all the way, and
This was at near the top of my list of movies I was looking forward to this year.
absolutely, and the fact that I'm feeling I come out of this needing a sequel to relate the base premises of this, and with so much strong foundations to what this could be in stellar performances. It's I hate to go there, but
it's like I remember somebody who made a beautiful looking Halloween costume. It's like, oh, that's great looking, but what are you?
right.
That's the whole thing. I think that summed up this movie just nicely. I mean, you could have a beautiful Halloween costume, but if someone doesn't know what you are, if you have to explain it,
Yeah.
I think you missed the point.
Right. Lots here. Look, again, lots here to work with. So much we wanted to see built more upon. But hey, what about you guys out there? Is there just something that you feel you caught, tied this whole thing together that nobody else is seeing? Hey, let us know. Or if you're in the same boat, if you didn't enjoy this as well, we do want to hear from you. Drop a comment right here in the section below. And hey, of course, if you dig the review, if you dig what you're hearing, a like and maybe even a sub goes a super long way in helping us. Please, keeping us doing what we're doing. We're trying to build the channel, trying to, expand things, and hey, can't do that
Or
without
if you want to
guys.
fight about it, I'll fight you about it.
Let's go.
I'll give my scissors. Real quick, you had commented about the glove thing just before we started recording, and
Yeah.
I just spit out. Because I didn't notice they were only wearing the one glove.
Yeah.
That is totally a reference to the Michael Jackson Thriller
I love
shirt that he was wearing. She remembered that.
Yeah.
When she got stuck in the tunnels, and so that's why they were only wearing one glove, which I thought was neat. Why the jumpsuits and scissors, though?
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember Michael Jackson ever wearing a prison jumpsuit.
I don't either. The closest, hey, to be fair, the closest I can base that is from Thriller itself. You remember his outfit, Thriller, the full what was that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's as close as they could get.
Yes. Yeah, but how'd they even get that? Whatever.
See, now we're gonna get lost in the tiz again.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, yeah.
So
you guys...
let me ask you one thing before we go.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Are you still excited to see the next Jordan Peele movie?
Absolutely, I absolutely am. And
I think there's a lot of talent there. This has definitely left me a little not quite as excited.
It's left me wanting, but let me say that I'm gonna be genuine about I think any material I review. Anything that he's producing, but look, this is the guy that's getting me excited for horror movies. I'm not about to drop that boat. No way.
What if he makes The Thing?
I'll still go see it.
I don't think that can't. I don't think there's any way that can't not be.
Because
nasty.
you know what? Here's the thing. If Jordan Peele does The Thing, he's gonna do. My bet is he's gonna do a very cerebral version of The Thing that's gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna love it. So
be careful with that, though, man. As we just saw, you get too cerebral. You get, you get stuck in your head too much with the turns and the twists.
You can wrap yourself around your own axle pretty easy. I agree. Fair enough. So.
Fix it. Us too. Fix it.
Yeah. Right on.
Or forever have a shitty movie.
Forever hold your scissors.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. People, hey, it's been fun. Let us know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again for tuning in. Stay tuned right here in this channel for more, not just our movie reviews, but our Let's Plays and everything else we got on deck. Until next time, you guys take it easy. Have a good one. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, or anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksongmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.